After the Fire Divine Palace found out about the incident in the Sacred Fire School, he immediately sent people to investigate. It was because they knew that the person who was messing around in the underground palace and killing the Ice Emperor was a guy with a black hammer. Now that they had gone to the Sacred Fire School to cause trouble, it was obvious that they were going against the Fire Divine Palace. At this critical juncture, the sudden appearance of an expert opposing the Fire Divine Palace put a lot of pressure on the Fire Divine Palace, especially since such a person could kill the Ice Emperor and exterminate that underground palace by himself. Xianxia was about to be sealed for 10 years, and the plan to attack Qin Martial Continent had always been carried out. In these 9 years, the Fire Divine Palace had always been increasing his own strength, consuming a lot of resources, all in order to make it easier for them to attack the Qin Martial Continent. But now, a mysterious rancor had appeared suddenly, making them wonder if he was the mysterious great clan elder from Dragon Subduing School. The Hall Master of the Fire Divine Palace was an immortal king. If it wasn't anything major, he wouldn't want to intervene, because if this matter were to spread to the Heaven Realm, it wouldn't be a glorious thing. Thus, when they were attacking the Qin Martial Continent, he didn't want to intervene, but at the moment he had to reconsider. After Xianxia left Sacred Yen City, he wandered around in other cities in order to gather information on Sacred Fire School. Originally, he planned to make a trip to Sacred Fire Mountain, but after knowing that there were mysterious experts in the Sacred Fire Mountain, he didn't dare to act rashly. The person that the Sacred Fire School offended was very strong, and it was said that he killed that Yang Wushuang in 2 moves. Back then at the Artifact Forging Assembly, this Yang Wushuang was really cocky, but I didn't expect him to die so miserably. The old ancestor of the Sacred Fire School has already come out. It is said that this old fellow was once an important figure in the Fire Divine Palace. He is a powerful old ghost with fire soul. So what if they come out? They don't even know each other's names. A shop was destroyed by them in such a carefree manner. They haven't even found a single hair on the other person's head yet. Of course, the old ancestor of the Sacred Fire School came out to protect the Sacred Fire School. That person has even killed Yang Wushuang, so he is definitely not afraid of the Sacred Fire School. Maybe that day when he was in a bad mood, he will go to the Sacred Fire School and cause a ruckus, and destroy the entire Sacred Fire School. The nearby cities were all managed by the Sacred Fire School, with the Sacred Fire School as the center. However, the Sacred Fire School had always been an extremely tyrannical city, and many people had a bad impression of it, especially the shops in the Sacred Fire School. If not for the people who were related to the Sacred Fire School going there, they would have been scammed to death. In the past few days, Xianxia had heard news that piqued his interest. It was that Fire Divine Palace had found an extremely large and unique profound being in the profound cold ancient realm. First, the profound being could not be placed inside the storage magic treasure. Second, the profound being was very difficult to break through, since it was found in the profound cold ancient realm. Then the immortal king that was staying in the profound ice city must have made a move before, but he could not break through it. Third, the special profound being was not like the other profound being who could release cold air, but that was without a doubt. In order to break open this piece of profound being, the experts of Fire Divine Palace used many different methods. In the end, they decided to transport it to the Sacred Fire Mountain, and use the flame inside the Sacred Fire Mountain's powerful volcanic crater to see if they could melt that piece of profound being. Xianxia was extremely interested in profound being, especially this kind of special profound being. Furthermore, he had always planned to go to the Sacred Fire Mountain to have a look, and after hearing the news, he immediately set off for the Sacred Fire Mountain. It was said that the profound being was the size of a house and was transported all the way from profound cold ancient realm. Xianxia returned to Sacred Yen City once again and asked for more detailed information. Very quickly, he found out that many powers had sent a few elders over, and they were all invited by the Fire Divine Palace. He felt that the Fire Divine Palace was making use of this opportunity to gather the other powers that wanted to attack the Qin Martial Continent. Towards such a thing, Xianxia could not be absent. The fellow from Ghost Killing School is here as well. We saw a golden-face ghost killer just now. This is really rare. Even he has to give me face. As Xianxia was walking, he suddenly heard people talking. Ghost Killing School S rarely appeared, especially those like them who had extremely high statuses in the ghost killing school. A golden-face ghost killer has arrived. That's my wish. Xianxia laughed in her heart. She anxiously ordered Long Shui, allowing him to use her powerful abilities to track the whereabouts of golden-face ghost killer. He's still in the city. This guy is very high profile. After he met a group of people, he had already moved into the Sacred Fire School's luxurious inn. Long Shui quickly found the golden-face ghost killer. Xianxia immediately headed towards the inn. He planned to ambush the golden-face ghost killer. He also wanted to have a taste of fighting against the powerful assassin in the dark. He transformed into a very small mosquito. Flying into the inn, entering the room, he saw the ghost killer sitting on the bed to rest. Although it looked like he was resting, Xianxia could feel that the golden-face ghost killer was releasing very weak divine senses to investigate his surroundings. He was extremely cautious. However, he could not detect Xianxia, so it was normal for mosquitoes to fly in. Xianxia did not release any of his qi, so the golden-face ghost killer did not sense it. Xianxia flew in front of the golden-face ghost killer and released his extremely strong divine power, using the soul-absorbing devil spell on him from a distance. The sudden mental attack was something the golden-face ghost killer did not expect, and he suffered heavy injuries in an instant. Xianxia had also revealed his original body, one hand pressing on the golden-face ghost killer's head as he searched through the memories in his mind. After obtaining the golden-face ghost killer's memories, Xianxia knocked it out, took off its black clothes and golden mask, then transformed it into the same size and appearance as the golden-face ghost killer. Of course, he could use the transformation techniques to create those masks, but he was worried that someone familiar with the golden-face ghost killer would appear, so it would not be good if he was recognized then. With the golden-face ghost killer's memories, Xianxia could impersonate this golden-face ghost killer and sneak into the Sacred Fire Mountain, and he could keep this golden-face ghost killer, putting it into the square cauldron that he had just obtained. If this golden-face ghost killer had any life pearls inside, they would definitely be discovered after he died. This was also the reason why Xianxia was so happy to have gotten the cauldron back then. From the memories, he knew that the Sacred Fire School would send someone to bring them to the Sacred Fire Mountain tomorrow. On the surface, the reason why they were invited was to help them deal with the gigantic Profound Being, but they were actually discussing about joining forces to attack the Chun Martial Continent secretly. This was just as Xianxia had guessed. Xianxia would definitely not let them succeed in this trip to the Sacred Fire Mountain, and would also check if that enormous Profound Being was really as the rumors said. If there were treasures inside, then he would also gain quite a lot on this trip. On the second day, the Sacred Fire Mountain sent someone to guide them to a huge ship that could fly. This ship had a very luxurious room and living room. Although the items sold were of poor quality, the items they gave themselves were never vague. For example, this huge ship that could fly. Xianxia flew for an entire day before finally arriving at the place where he was supposed to be. The golden-face ghost killer that he pretended to be was normally a quiet and taciturn person, so even if someone asked him a question, he could answer or not, and other people would not feel disgusted with him. Therefore, Xianxia also spoke very little. Standing on the deck of the giant ship, he could feel a wave of hot air assaulting him. In front of him was a huge volcano with lava flowing within the volcano. Looking from afar, it looked like a gigantic lake of lava. Floating above the volcano was an island, and on this island were many buildings, such as the Sacred Fire School. This volcano is really strange. This fire essence should have come from the Earth's core. Cultivating here all year round is indeed a great help to those who cultivate fire, and in this environment, it's not difficult to nurture a fire soul. Su Meiyao said. Would the Fire Divine Palace not accept such a good place? Xiang's heart skipped a beat as he suddenly thought of something. Bai Yuyu said what he was thinking in his heart, and said, "This should be the Fire Divine Palace's headquarters. This floating island is not something that just anyone can create, and its defensive power is extremely strong. The Sacred Fire School exists and is on this island as well. The headquarters of the Fire Divine Palace should be hidden here as well, and all of this is to deceive people." The fact that the Fire Divine Palace controlled such a powerful volcano made Xiang drool. In a sense, this unique volcano was equivalent to a dragon vein. Looks like I'll have to be careful in a bit. Xianxia thought, but he had previously heard from a few people that the Hall Master of the Fire Divine Palace would not come, and would instead guard that seal. Sealing Xianxia was something that most people on the ship would love to see. Now that there was an immortal king protecting them, they felt that when the time was right, they could peacefully attack Chen Martial Continent. In the Alliance, the Ghost Killing School held an important position because at that time, assassinating the experts from various powers in the Chen Martial Continent was extremely important. If the Immortal King did not intervene, then in order to successfully attack the Chen Martial Continent, one would have to rely on the Golden Face Ghost Killer inside the Ghost Killing School. And the Golden Face Ghost Killer that Xianxia was impersonating as right now was the second in command of the Ghost Killing School. Above him was the Red Face Ghost Killer, the leader of the Ghost Killing School. From the memories of the current second manager, Xianxia knew that the Red Face Ghost Killer never spoke, nor did he send any sound transmissions but only sent messages through notes. As a result, no one had heard his voice, and no one knew whether or not he had changed into a different leader over the years, but he was definitely powerful. The giant ship landed and everyone boarded the small island floating above the giant volcano's crater. The people that came were all powerful experts so they could adapt to the intense heat. They soon saw the gigantic profound being, which was as big as a house. Although this profound being did not emit the intense cold chi, it still felt cool and refreshing standing near the gigantic profound being. The masked Xianxia was currently using the Chaos Divine Eye to carefully observe this gigantic profound being. This profound being was the biggest he had ever seen. It was over 1,000 meters long and its shape was irregular. But without a doubt, it was a profound being. Is there something inside? Long Shui asked. It's a huge thing, but I'm not sure yet. If I can open the Chaos Divine Eye, I might be able to see it clearly. Xianxia's voice carried a trace of shock. There was actually something inside this enormous profound being, and it was very huge as well. The things inside the profound being were not ordinary. Although the quality of this piece of profound being was not of the high quality, it did not mean that the things inside were ordinary. Something very big. What could it be? Could it be a living giant beast? Su Meiyao asked in surprise. I'm not sure. I don't feel any signs of life, and this profound being is very strong. Breaking it is not easy. The Immortal King has already fought. I can feel the old man's chi, but he can't do anything to this profound being. Xianxia also wanted to know what exactly was frozen inside this profound being. The leader from the Sacred Fire School was here. His name was Yang Jiutao. He was an old man dressed in fiery red robes, with white eyebrows and white beard. He had just lost his son, and was not in a good mood. Yang Jiutao saw that everyone was interested in this gigantic profound being. So he said, "The Fire Divine Palace's Palace Master said, there must be something inside, but it cannot be broken. If everyone does not have a good idea, you can only push this profound being into the crater of the volcano, and see if it can be melted away." Xianxia felt that this was not appropriate. He was worried that the good stuff inside would be affected, but he did not have any good methods right now. If he did not impersonate the Golden Face Ghost Killer, and if it was not because of this environment, he would definitely have that hammer of God to try and break it apart. If we push it down, if there is any spiritual medicine inside, it will be destroyed. Person said. But there's nothing we can do about it. We have to see if there's anything inside. Could it be that even the Palace Master can't do anything to this profound being? Yang Jiutao shook his head. If there was some powerful divine weapon, it might be able to break through it, and the Green Dragon Demon-Slain Broadsword might be able to. But unfortunately, it is in Xianxia's hands, and Xianxia is sealed by the Fire Divine Palace's Hall Master. Person sighed. Isn't your Sacred Fire School a very powerful sect for smithing? Don't tell me there aren't any divine weapons that you can take out. The one who asked was an elder of the devil race. Fire Divine Palace's Hall Master is the Heaven Realm's Immortal King. Moreover, he has a powerful holy-level dragon artifact. He used that thing and his powerful strength to no longer be able to break through the profound being. Our Sacred Fire School is merely a small sect. We can only take out a few immortal artifacts. It can't even compare to the Fire Divine Palace's holy-level dragon artifact. The reason why Yang Jiutao revealed the power of the Hall Master was so that he could tell the people who were gathered here how strong the Fire Divine Palace was. As the immortal king of the Fire Divine Palace, he was sent here to rob the world by a powerful person. How could he not give a piece of this thing to the Hall Master? Everyone stood at the side of the profound being. Some of them had already started to use their powerful strength to attack it, wanting to test how powerful the profound being was. After a round of attacks, those people finally gave up, and when their powerful strength attacks onto the profound being, they were immediately absorbed, with not even a speck of it remaining. Looks like I can only push the profound being down. Person sighed. Xianxia nodded and said, "It seems like there's no other way. Please come with me. I have something important to discuss with you." However, if they were to attack the Chun Martial Continent all by themselves, it would be very difficult for them to take it down. Unless they allied together, even if they joined forces, they would still not have any confidence because the current Chun Martial Continent was extraordinarily strong. Furthermore, they had sealed Xianxia. In these past 10 years, the Dragon Subduing School did not make any big movements, as if he was about to disappear from the face of the earth, and the great clan elder did not come to save Xianxia either. Therefore, everyone believed that the time to attack the Chun Martial Continent was now. Xianxia and the others followed Yang Jutao to a secret meeting room and sat at a long table. Yang Jutao was not sitting at the seat of honor, but was wearing the robes of a Fire Divine Palace middle-aged man. When the middle-aged man came in, everyone felt a strange pressure, and at this time, everyone's hearts were thumping. They did not expect that there would actually be a Fire Divine Palace ranker hidden here. When he came here, Xianxia had already guessed that this sacred fire mountain was the Fire Divine Palace's secret headquarters. It was normal for there to be experts from the Fire Divine Palace here, so Xianxia was not surprised at all. He should be in the middle stage of Immortal Monarch. Long Shui said, "To them, this guy is very strong. If this guy were to join when we are attacking Chun Martial Continent, the pressure you guys would be feeling would be even greater." Xianxia was secretly worried, because it was very easy to nurture a strong ranker at the location of the sacred fire mountain. He did not know how many powerful people there were in this huge sacred fire mountain, so he wanted to kill off this sacred fire mountain. Everyone. The real purpose of coming here is to discuss the preparations for attacking Chun Martial Continent. The Immortal Monarch said. Everyone nodded their heads. Having such an expert in charge of the meeting gave them a lot of confidence. They were worried that the Immortal King would not help them previously, otherwise they would not need to pull the Chun Martial Continent down. The Immortal Monarch said, "It's been almost 10 years and the great clan elder of Dragon Subduing School has not come to save Xianxia. We have already confirmed that the great clan elder will not appear anymore. I think this is something that everyone is still worried about." The man from Devil Race said, "But if 10 years pass and we are about to attack Chun Martial Continent, what about the great clan elder from Dragon Subduing School? If we let the little demon Xianxia out, we would all be in trouble. You are well aware of the strength of our Hall Master. Even if the great clan elder from Dragon Subduing School appeared, given our Hall Master's strength, he would definitely be able to stop him from releasing Xianxia. However, this also means that our Hall Master is not allowed to fight against the Chun Martial Continent, so we have to join hands with you all." Xianxia sneered in his heart. If the White Tiger really came, even the Palace Masters of the 10 Fire Divine Palaces would not be able to stop it. Furthermore, he didn't need the White Tiger to help him right now. He would have to rely on his own strength to come out. In other words, we can start now, right? The person who spoke was from the ancient Wasteland Devil sect, and Xianxia was very familiar with the qi on his body. No matter if it was demon or demon, as long as they wanted to attack Chun Martial Continent, the Fire Divine Palace would gather them together. Now we can make our move, but before we make our move, we have to make some preparations, and we have to get rid of the middle strength of the Chun Martial Continent. If possible, getting rid of 1 or 2 of their leaders is not out of the question, but Dan Fragrance Pure Land, Divine Weapons Heavenly Country, Icy Wind Valley, and all of them are being taken over by a few kids, and the one who is going to take over the Lotus Island is also a little brat. They are all our primary targets. As for the current leader, he is too strong, it is hard to do anything secretly. After Immortal Monarch finished speaking, he looked at Xianxia. Now that Xianxia was pretending to be Golden Face Ghost Killer, Ghost Killing School was most skilled in such assassination, and many people from various forces were the same. Xianxia did not say anything. and only nodded his head slightly. This was the personality of the golden-faced ghost killer. As long as it was in contact with the higher-ups of the ghost killing school, they would know these powerful ghost killers spoke very little and did not want others to know their voices, so they all understood. This bunch of bastards, let me go assassinate Xianxia and the others. Keep dreaming. I really want to assassinate all of you tonight. Xianxia thought that he could indeed use his identity as the golden-faced ghost killer to assassinate these people. As long as he did everything cleanly, no one would know about it. The immortal monarch continued. As long as the ghost killing school is successful, when the Chun martial continent's great powers suddenly lose their core leader, then we will attack. As for how much time we have, it would depend on the ghost killing school's friends. List. Xianxia said in an extremely stiff and low voice. Yang Jutao immediately took out a piece of paper and handed it to Xianxia. There were over 10 names on the list. Among them were Shui Xianxian, Leng Yulan, Wu Qianqian, and some other names that he was familiar with. Then there was the Lotus Island's island master, Lian Dongsheng, who was an able son of Lian Yingxiao, and was also relatively strong. This was the leader's name, and the remaining few elders who were more useful were the people with great intelligence and were important people among the forces in the Chun martial continent. When should we make our move? One of them asked. The meeting is over, Xianxia said coldly. With how quick his actions were, many people admired Ghost Killing School's professional attitude. Furthermore, Ghost Killing School was relatively good at this kind of thing, so they had a lot of confidence in him. As for the benefits obtained from the battle, you don't have to worry about that. As long as we can take down the Chun martial continent and find the dragon fountain that was hidden inside, then the entire Dtion will be ours from now. Yun Che's eyes flashed with a cold light. This, 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 this. As long as they participated, they would be able to obtain great benefits from Dtion. If they only relied on themselves, it would be very difficult, and they would also face the risk of destruction. After that, they discussed the time of the attack and the areas that each faction would be responsible for. All of these were memorized by Xianxia. If Xianxia participated in this meeting, it would mean that they were late. It was just that no one else knew about it. After the meeting ended, Xianxia left by himself while the others had to watch the gigantic profound being fall into the crater of the volcano. Xianxia was only pretending to leave, but he was actually hiding in the lava at the bottom of the volcano mouth. He reckoned that the profound being would only melt in the depths of the volcano, and the person at the top would be unable to go down. The lava inside the volcano was not very hot for Xianxia, especially on the surface layer. Xianxia had been to the core of the earth before, so it was even more terrifying down there. However, he could endure it, and now that his strength had increased and he had cultivated the body of heavenly sage, he could dive deeper into the ground and the gigantic profound being would fall straight to the ground. If it's the corpse of an ancient beast, it would definitely melt in the bottom of this volcano. If it's something edible, then it's even more so. Long Shui was extremely vexed. That profound being was simply too big, and there was even something huge inside. If it could be eaten, it would definitely last a long time. Xianxia was already soaked in the flame essence, waiting for the people above to push the gigantic profound being down. Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, you don't seem to be lacking in food. What are you thinking about? Xianxia laughed. There isn't a lack of food right now, but I sometimes want to change my appetite. This thing might be something from the ancient times. Long Shui muttered. With the divine soul that had gone out of his body, Xianxia could already see the group of people working together to push down the gigantic profound being. Just how big is this thing inside? Don't tell me it takes up the entire piece of the profound being. Bai Yuyu suddenly thought of something and asked. Xianxia thought for a moment, then answered, No, I think I took a small part of it, but compared to this huge profound being, that thing can already be considered to be huge. Bai Yuyu said, For this profound being to become so strange, it could have been caused by the things inside. It must be strong, huge, and definitely not able to be placed inside. This profound being must have definitely been affected by the things inside, so it became like this. Xianxia also thought that it was reasonable. What would that be? Bai Yuyu was silent for a moment, then said, I am not sure, but if it really is that thing, then it is possible that we know the reason behind the formation of the profound cold ancient realm. Could this thing have caused the profound cold ancient realm to become the main culprit of this world's ice and snow? Chun Xiang was astonished. He wanted to know what exactly this thing was, to actually be so powerful. Bai Yuyu said, I don't know much about that thing. Let's talk about it after I see it. The gigantic profound being was pushed down from the small island above and fiercely fell into the volcano, causing a large amount of fire essence to splash out. Chun Xiang, who was at the side, was also confused and disoriented by the wild waves of the fire essence. The disturbance was so great that a large amount of hot air rose up from the volcano's crater. This prevented the floating island from releasing any sort of formation to protect itself. Otherwise, the disciples would not be able to withstand such a large amount of hot air. After calming down, Chun Xiang immediately went downwards quickly. He even took out the hammer of God, and with the help of its weight, he quickly descended and chased after the gigantic profound being. The temperature below was indeed very high, but he did not need to use the profound wood diamond armor to protect it. Chun Xiang sank downwards as he used the power of the spatial laws to travel through space, and quickly caught up to the gigantic profound being. What surprised him was that the profound being was already this deep, and there were no signs of it melting. The people on the floating island all frowned as they looked at the volcano that was gradually calming down. It seems to have sunk very deep. If there's a treasure, how will we be able to discover it? Is it possible that the treasure will sink so deep into the ground? An elder of the sacred fire school said. The immortal monarch said, If it melts and treasures appear, I can feel it. When the time comes, I will have a secret technique to retrieve it, so there is no need to worry. The crater was connected to the core of the earth, and this was also the entrance to the core of the earth. Last time when Chun Xiang released the super old fire beast, he obtained a earth core crystal and it had already fused into his body. The gigantic profound being had already entered the earth's core from the mouth of the volcano, but it had still not melted. I wonder where it will sink to before it melts. If it goes too deep, I'll have to take out the fire dragon sword. The last time Chun Xiang entered the earth's core, he was able to rely on that fire dragon sword to dodge the fire essence in the earth's core. The immortal monarch at the top frowned. Looks like I've already entered the core. I never thought that it would still not melt even in that kind of place. And this also proves that this volcano can lead to the core of the earth. But if we continue to sink down, I will have no way of controlling it. Maybe this piece of profound being will sink down to the depths of the core. The core was something that would cause people to feel fear, especially the famous Earth's core fire realm. The people here weren't strangers. The flames there were even more terrifying now, and they could only wander around outside. After 2 hours, the gigantic profound being had already sunk deeper and deeper into the ground, and there were no signs of the profound being melting. Chun Xiang also felt a burning sensation on his body. He secretly activated profound Wu physical exercise to temper his body, and he was currently on top of the sinking profound being, waiting for the profound being to melt. Could it be that even the Earth's core is unable to melt this piece of profound being? Isn't this way too powerful? Chun Xiang said in shock. It looks like it's that thing without a doubt. If it can melt, then you will be able to see what exactly it is. Bai Yuyu was even more sure of his own thoughts. What is it? Can it be eaten? Long Shui asked. No. Can that be used for fighting? Long Shui asked again. I don't know, my understanding of that thing was just a rumor. When I was in the heavenly demon realm, I read about it in the ancient books of my Bai family. At that time, I cultivated the power of frost and went through a large amount of things related to the powerful icy cold power. What exactly is that thing? Sister Yu, don't keep us in suspense. Chun Xiang's heart itched. He wished that he could immediately break open the profound being. Bai Yuyu was silent again. After a while, she said, Wait. If you see it with your own eyes, you will understand it better. After another 4 hours, Chun Xiang took out the fire dragon sword and felt that it was about to sink to the bottom. Just when he thought that the profound being would not melt, he suddenly felt the gigantic, profound Bing trembling. Finally, there was a response. Xianxia was wild with joy and immediately became spirited. As for the people above, they had long since left. Only the immortal monarch was still there, frowning as he looked at the fiery red liquid below. It actually didn't melt, but cracked. Xianxia felt that this was extremely strange. Many cracks appeared on the gigantic profound Bing, and then it suddenly exploded, turning into a small piece of ice and disappeared into the fire droplets. This method of breaking through was actually the same as the other profound Bing. Xianxia saw something inside the profound Bing. It was actually a gigantic tablet. Very quickly, Xianxia came to his senses. It was not that he had seen this giant tablet before, but he felt that the aura of this giant tablet was very familiar, and this familiarity came from his killing god heart. The killing god heart contained a very powerful soul, and at this moment, Xianxia felt that the soul was affecting him, which was why he felt that this giant monument was so familiar. It really is this thing. Bai Yu had already expected this, but he was still shocked. Quickly put it away. Xianxia did not immediately take action, but asked seriously, "What exactly is this thing?" The soul inside the killing god heart was extremely terrifying. Even the white tiger had said that, and this stone tablet seemed to be related to that soul. Xianxia was worried that an accident might happen if he placed the stone tablet inside the Yuyao ring. I don't know why, but this piece of heaven-suppressed immortal monument did not appear in the sky of ice, but had gone missing. Furthermore, the other heaven-suppressed immortal monument also did not appear, so we can now be sure that one of them appeared in Dtion, causing the profound cold ancient realm to be frozen. Xianxia quickly put away the heaven-suppressed immortal monument and was secretly shocked in his heart. He said, "Could it be that the heaven-suppressed immortal monument no longer has the power to suppress the profound cold ancient realm?" Bai Yu nodded his head. Perhaps that place was born along with Dtion. The origins of this heaven-suppressed immortal monument is unknown, but its god power is endless, and this piece of heaven-suppressed immortal monument could release a very strong icy cold power. So maybe profound cold ancient realm was created by this piece of heaven-suppressed immortal monument. Could it be that someone intentionally threw the heaven-suppressed immortal monument at profound cold ancient realm? How did those strange profound Bing form? I don't believe that those shaped profound Bing were formed by nature. Xianxia was very suspicious about this, and obviously the treasure inside the profound Bing was not a coincidence. The profound cold ancient realm was a very dangerous place, and it concerned whether or not Dtion could be stable in the future. Before Xianxia left Dtion, it would be best if he could understand the situation clearly. Strange. Why is it gone? What's inside? I feel that it's quite big, but just as I was about to get it, it suddenly disappeared. The immortal monarch frowned, puzzled. Deep within the earth, Xianxia was also unable to examine that piece of heaven-suppressed immortal monument carefully. That immortal monarch seemed to be able to sense the movement of that profound Bing up there. However, he did not discover you. Long Shui could sense that the immortal monarch above was paying close attention to something. That's good. I can quickly leave this place to carry out my mission. Xianxia's face revealed a smile. His so-called mission was to assassinate the person on the list. He recognized the few people on the list, so of course he wouldn't kill them. Xianxia came out from the crater of the volcano and then quietly left, not letting the immortal monarch discover him. He left the sacred fire mountain far away and turned into an ordinary middle-aged man, entering Holy Yen City. He then teleported from Holy Yen City to another city. The dragon-subduing city was still the same as before. It was said that he had been attacked by demons many times, but the great city barrier formation set up by the Iron Line army was not weak, and with the power provided by the dragon veins, the dragon-subduing city was indestructible. Li Baojun was not in the dragon-subduing city. He had snuck back in. He did not want others to know that he had come out from the seal, so he had to keep a low profile. Unable to find Li Baojun in the dragon-subduing city, he entered the evil dragon graveyard. The dragon-subduing school had already recruited many outstanding disciples, and these disciples had all been filtered and recognized by many. Furthermore, there was Lan Lan and Yen Yenran who was in charge of investigating these backgrounds. preventing people from sneaking into the dragon subduing school. On the other hand, the people who trained these disciples were some old geezers from the Earth's core race and Duanchong. Yun Xiaodao and the others were all in charge of a group of disciples, and were the bosses of many of the dragon subduing school disciples. In order to increase their combat experience, they often fought. As for the pills, there was no need to mention the fact that the dragon subduing school was a powerful alchemist power, so in a short period of time, the dragon subduing school was able to produce a large number of outstanding disciples, but many of the forces did not know about it. Li Baojun was at the dragon subduing school headquarters in the evil dragon graveyard. The moment he finished concocting pills, he saw Xianxia sitting in his small hall. "Ha ha! I knew you'd get out in time." Seeing that Xianxia's complexion was good, Li Baojun laughed and said. He was relieved when Xianxia came back, but he had been worried since, and furthermore, the Chun martial continent would be attacked soon. If not for Xianxia's help, he was afraid that it would be a headache to solve some problems. "That broken seal won't be able to trap me." Xianxia chuckled. "Elderly, how many disciples do we have now?" "There are over 30,000. And all of them were recruited here and there by those brats. Only after they have received the approval of us old fellows are they allowed to enter the evil dragon graveyard." Li Baojun said, "Don't worry, I have already divided the dragon subduing school into a few regions. Disciples are not allowed to enter some important places, so there is no need to worry about them messing around." "Yes." Xianxiang nodded. He had complete trust in Li Baojun's attitude towards him. "Not many people knew that you came back, right? How come there isn't any news about Fire Divine Palace?" Li Baojun asked. Even until now, Fire Divine Palace still had not discovered Xianxiang coming out of that seal. "We can't let too many people know about this." Hearing Xianxiang's words, Li Baojun immediately understood Xianxiang's intentions, but he was still a little confused. "Leader, if you are letting the Fire Divine Palace attack the Chun martial continent, then we have at least one person who can force the Hall Master of the Fire Divine Palace to do this. That person is the Immortal King, and our great elder has gone to who knows where. You don't have to worry about that. The Hall Master will be guarding Profound Ice City, and as long as I'm not exposed, the Hall Master will not come out. But after this, we just need to ambush and capture all of those people who are attacking the Chun martial continent." Xianxiang had another identity now, the golden-faced ghost killer of the ghost-killing school. He smiled and said, "I have already infiltrated into the inner circle of their alliance. At that time, I will tell you about their latest battle plan." "So sinister." Li Baojun also laughed. "I am currently a golden-faced ghost killer of the ghost-killing school. They gave me a list of assassins and told me to kill these people." Xianxiang took out the name list and handed it over to Li Baojun. Li Baojun was startled. He never thought that Xianxiang would actually impersonate the golden-faced ghost killer, and upon seeing the name list, he frowned. They are all important figures. If the powers in Chun martial continent do not have these people, and they happen to attack here, the consequences will be unimaginable. Li Baojun frowned. "That's right, but if there are these people here, they would use a lot of strength to attack us. If more than half of the people on the list die, they will be the ones to make a surprise attack, and the people who come will probably be elites, so there will definitely be a lot of them." Xianxiang said, "When the time comes, we'll ambush them there and give them a surprise." Li Baojun finally understood what Xianxiang wanted to do. Xianxiang laughed. "I will make a trip to Divine Weapons Heavenly Country and Dan Fragrance Pure Land. Elderly, arrange some men for me and I will be ready to attack at any time." "Got it. I'll make the arrangements. Should you tell those brats about your return first?" Li Baojun asked. Xianxiang thought for a moment, then said, "I will not tell Dao Run and the others for now." After greeting Li Baojun, Xianxiang left the evil dragon graveyard and let Li Baojun report his plan to Duanchong. Those who were assassinated by the ghost-killing school were the higher-ups of the forces in the Fire Divine Palace, and they were all important figures who guaranteed the smooth operation of a force. Once the assassination was successful, this force would be in great turmoil for a short period of time, and it would be the best time to take them down. Xianxiang came to Divine Weapons Heavenly Country, and quietly went to look for Xianxia. Xianxia and Lang Yulan were currently very busy, Not only did they have to cultivate and raise their strength, they also had to instruct them to set up huge formations, and sometimes they also had to refine some powerful treasures for their disciples. Xianxia also stayed in their room at night, waiting for them to return. My brother will be sealed for 10 years soon. At that time, he said from the inside that after 10 years, the Fire Divine Palace would attack the Chun Martial continent. If it really comes to that, I wonder if my brother will be able to come back. Lung Yulan sat in the hall, drinking the flower tea that was used to remove fatigue. Regardless of whether he can come back or not, we have to be well prepared. If we can't protect the divine weapon's heavenly country well, how are we going to face Master when we go to the heaven realm in the future? Xianxia's face was gloomy. Of course she hoped that Xianxia would return, but she had to prepare for the worst. Xianxia walked out from the room and said while grinning, "This kind of big event. How can you leave me alone?" Hearing Xianxia's voice, Xianxia and Lang Yulan's delicate bodies trembled. After that they looked towards the direction of the voice in pleasant surprise. It was indeed Xianxia. Seeing Xianxia suddenly appear, Lang Yulan flew over and hugged Xianxia tightly. "Brother, I knew you could break that bastard seal. Haha." Lang Yulan laughed as he patted Xianxia's back. Xianxia let out a small sigh of relief. All these years they had been extremely nervous because if the Fire Divine Palace attacked the Chun Martial continent, it would not be easy to defend against. It had to be known that the Fire Divine Palace had allied many forces, and there were even people from the demon and devil realms. Seeing that Xianxia had returned, Xianxia, who had been tensed up for many days, finally relaxed. This was because in her heart, Xianxia could solve all the dangers. Xianxia lightly embraced Xianxia and kissed her forehead. Then he smiled and said, "Xianxia, I feel like you and elder sister Menger are becoming more and more similar." "Little scoundrel, you think of elder sister Menger all day." Xianxia scoffed. "Bro, you came out of that damn seal. Why is there no news at all?" Lang Yulan was very excited at this moment, because he was sure that he would be able to charge in together with Xianxia during the great battle. Xianxia quickly understood the reason and smiled at Lang Yulan. "Yulan, I'm afraid that even Fire Divine Palace doesn't know about my husband coming out. The Palace Lord should still be there, standing guard at death's door." Lang Yulan also understood at this moment and immediately nodded. "So that's how it is. Then that means when the time comes, Big Bro will secretly make his move." Xianxia said, "Not only that, we still have some plans, and we need you to cooperate. This will severely injure the Fire Divine Palace and the other forces." Xianxia said, "What plan?" Xianxia took out the list of names, then told the two girls about him impersonating the Golden Face Ghost Killer and sneaking into the alliance. "When the time comes, I will need your cooperation. What you need to do is let the outside world, and even the disciples of Divine Weapons, Heavenly Country and Icy Wind Valley know that all of the important people on the list who are related to you are dead." Xianxia immediately understood. "They want us to fake our deaths, and let the Fire Divine Palace's alliance mistake us for a mess. When they attack, we can gather our forces to ambush them and eliminate them." "Exactly, their alliance will definitely gather a large portion of their elites to attack you, and when the time comes, we will also send out all our strength to kill this group of people, and my dragon subduing school will have made the arrangements." Lang Yulan said, "When the time comes for us to come back from the dead and join the battle, wouldn't that mean that you won't be able to continue living in that alliance?" Xianxia laughed. "You can participate in the battle, but don't let others find out." Xianxia said, "If we fake our deaths at the same time, we can give the successors that we nurture a chance for them to gain experience. You guys have already groomed the successor. The man is still the woman." Xianxia rolled her eyes at him. "Little scoundrel, are you that concerned about this? As long as the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country and its people pretended to be dead, half of the people on the list would be sent out." Xianxia felt that he could go back and submit his mission now. "In that case, you'd better make the arrangements tonight and send out the news of your deaths tomorrow morning." The time of death has to be better. We cannot let Icy Wind Valley and Divine Weapons Heavenly Country die together. I will go find Xianxia and have her bring some people over." I will find a few elders to discuss it. If nothing goes wrong, you will know the news of my death in the morning. Xianxia laughed mischievously. Then what about me? When should I die? Leng Yulan asked with a smile. You are together. Time can be the same. Xianxia caressed her white hair and laughed. When the time comes, I'll fake my death. Don't jump out or else my plan will be ruined. Leng Yulan pouted. Don't think so badly of me. I've played with this kind of scheme before. After discussing with Xianxia and Leng Yulan, Xianxia anxiously headed towards Dan Fragrance Pure Land. He had used a transformation technique to quietly go in. He did not want anyone else to see him looking for people. Xianxia was just as busy as the two women in the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country. She wanted to refine pills, cultivate, and nurture the next leader. Deep into the night, Xianxia busied herself for the entire day, soaking in the hot spring inside the cave, using the spirit spring water to dispel fatigue, strengthening her body, and nourishing the veins in her body. Just as she was bathing in the water comfortably, she heard a cough, which startled her, causing her to release a ball of white light aura, wrapping her body with spirit spring water, and taking out a treasured sword. Xianxia, it's me, Xiang said from outside the stone room. Xiang. Xianxia was shocked. He anxiously kept his sword and donned on his clothes, then walked out of the stone room with the spirit spring. The cave that Xianxia resided in was protected extremely well by the array. Even if someone used a jade plate to enter, she would immediately know. At this critical moment, Xianxia was very happy to be able to come out from the seal, but she looked at Xiang strangely. Xianxia's hair was drenched. Her body was dressed in a simple robe. She looked extremely charming and seductive. Xiang saw Xianxia looking at him that way, and immediately explained, I didn't peek. Xianxia laughed. I didn't say you were spying on me. After that, Xianxia leaned on Xiang's chest, gently hugging Xiang's tiger waist, and said gently, It's good that you're back. All these years you've been worried to death about me. Xiang kissed his lips and said, I came out from that seal. Fire Divine Palace does not know about it. Xianxia sensed that Xiang had something important to tell her, so he nodded. She, who was familiar with Xiang, could also think of something. Xiang told her the plan. After hearing it, Xianxia asked, What do I need to do when the time comes? If news of Yulan and Xianxian's death spreads, you will secretly issue an order to the Dan Fragrance Pure Land to support them. You said that to protect them from being attacked, but for specific actions, I will inform you when the time comes. Xiang gave some of Xianxian's ingredients. All of them were of a higher rank, allowing her to learn how to refine higher-ranked pills. After leaving the Dan Fragrance Pure Land, Xiang headed towards the sacred Yen City, waiting for the news to spread out. The Chun martial continent had always been attacked by many forces, especially in these few years, it had been very ordinary. It was because the legend said that it would be the center of the new imperial heaven world, and that there would be a second dragon vein that would lead to this disaster. At dawn, the news spread to sacred Yen City. Divine Weapons Heavenly Country S and some important elders in Divine Weapons Heavenly Country all died due to poison. At this time, the entire Divine Weapons Heavenly Country was in chaos. Everyone knew the reason for being assassinated. As long as they could take down Divine Weapons Heavenly Country, they would be able to enter the center of the Chun martial continent. From the looks of the death, some people could already guess that it was Ghost Killing School who did it, because Ghost Killing School was an expert in using poison. Xiang immediately headed towards the sacred Fire Mountain. Only half of the people on the list of names that the Fire Divine Palace had given him had been assassinated, but he felt that it was enough for the Fire Divine Palace to gather their men and attack. Xianxia is Xiang's wife and Leng Yulan is Xiang's recognized sister. If they die, how are we supposed to threaten Xiang in the future? This group of people, they actually messed up my plans. When they were doing this, they didn't notify me. When the Hall Master of the Fire Divine Palace heard this news, he was extremely furious. Back then, Xiang had also thought of this problem, so he guessed that there was a conflict within the Fire Divine Palace, that Hall Master wanted to threaten him, and there were some people who wanted to attack the Chun martial continent in a hurry. This made guess that there might be a immortal king hidden in the Fire Divine Palace's headquarters. If not, the immortal monarch would not have dared to pass that name list to him. Palace Lord, it seems like that fellow can't wait. What do we do now? Do we continue to guard this place? An old man asked the hall master of the Fire Divine Palace. Humph, of course we have to guard this place. If Xianxia comes out and finds out about this, I dare say that he will definitely go on a killing spree. This group of idiots, how could they have never thought about the importance of these two women? The Fire Divine Palace's palace master was extremely furious. The powerhouses were all shocked. The new leader of the Super Martial School and a few clan elders had also received the message from the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country to ask for reinforcements. They wanted them to be prepared, as the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country would become the biggest breach in their attack on the Chun Martial Continent at that time. The other powers of the Chun Martial Continent were also the same, and the Dragon Subduing School had sent out a large number of elites. On the other hand, people like Yun Xiaodao, who had good relations with Chen Xiang, who were unaware, were extremely furious. However, they were calmed down by Duan Chong and Li Baojun, and told them to calm down and prepare to fight. All of their reactions were as Chen Xiang had expected. He was already disguised as the Golden-Face Ghost Killer, and was heading towards the Sacred Fire School. He had just left Holy Yen City when he sensed someone following him. He pretended that he didn't know and continued to move forward. When they were far away from Holy Yen City and entered a forest, the people following him suddenly increased their speed and rushed towards him. This is Ghost Killing School, Red Face Ghost Killer. Chen Xiang was shocked. Through his Heaven Tour method, he saw that the person chasing after him was wearing a black robe and a red mask. This was the legendary Red Face Ghost Killer. Chen Xiang did not increase his speed to get rid of them, because they were his own people, but he felt that something was amiss. If not, the Red Face Ghost Killer would not have chased after him. In the mysterious Red Face Ghost Killer, no one had told him his true appearance, nor did anyone know how long he had survived. No one knew of his strength, no one had heard his voice, and although he rarely showed his face, he was able to control the entire Ghost Killing School. Red Face Ghost Killer appeared in front of Chen Xiang. The aura from his body made Chen Xiang feel nervous. The Red Face Ghost Killer was very strong. It made him feel that it was difficult to deal with them. You killed all those people. Red Face Ghost Killer actually spoke. Her voice was extremely low and gloomy. It was the voice of an old lady. This Red Face Ghost Killer was actually a woman. Yes. Chen Xiang replied coldly. He was worried that he would be seen through, so he was already prepared to fight. I don't think you have the ability to do so. Red Face Ghost Killer's voice suddenly became colder. But I did it. Chen Xiang never thought that the Red Face Ghost Killer would suspect something because of this. He only hoped that the Red Face Ghost Killer did not come into contact with the people from the Fire Divine Palace, or else his plan would be in vain. This should have been done by me together with you. You should know how you did it if you couldn't kill those people. Chen Xiang had indeed thought about this before, because the people on that list were indeed difficult to kill. Back then, the reason the Fire Divine Palace gave him this list of names was probably because of this Ghost Killing School. Chen Xiang obviously could not tell the leader of the Ghost Killing School, so he made a bet that the Ghost Killer would not secretly pursue this matter. However, the Red Face Ghost Killer was extremely cautious, and had chased after him. You shouldn't have doubted my strength, Chen Xiang said coldly. Oh, by doing this, could it be that you think you have more power than me? You want to use this matter to prove that you are qualified to be the Ghost Killing King. Red Face Ghost Killer was furious. Chen Xiang now understood and secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Originally, Red Face Ghost Killer was worried that he would usurp the position of, but there was indeed such a cruel rule of power in Ghost Killing School. And there was only one Red Face Ghost Killer on top of the Golden Face Ghost Killer, which was also known as the Ghost Killing King, so killing them wouldn't be easy. That's right. I've been missing your mask for a long time. Chen Xiang felt the other party's killing intent and quickly threw out a punch, hitting Red Face Ghost Killer on the shoulder. The Red Face Ghost Killer had prepared for this long ago, but she was still shocked by the thunder-like attack. It was just as she said previously, this Golden Face Ghost Killer should not have such strength. There are no fluctuations of the innate chi. Could it be the strength of a physical body? Red-Face Ghost Killer was unable to dodge it. The moment the fist landed on his shoulder, he immediately guessed this power in his mind. No, this is... Red-Face Ghost Killer suddenly felt that after his left shoulder was hit, it suddenly became lighter and softer. Upon closer inspection, all the bones in his left arm and left shoulder had disappeared. The bone-melting magic palm could directly decompose bones. It was one of the supreme devil arts of the devil realm. The other party actually knew this devil art. This caused Red-Face Ghost Killer to be incomparably shocked, and now she felt that the other party had the strength to kill an important figure of the divine weapon's heavenly country. I want your mask. Xianxia's second punch urgently arrived, landing on Red-Face Ghost Killer's other shoulder. This Red-Face Ghost Killer's strength was around the late period of human immortal, and according to Long Shui's judgment, he should be at the peak of the worldly immortal stage, just a step away from becoming an immortal monarch. On the other hand, with the power of the body of Heavenly Sage and the innate Qi, it would not be difficult for Xianxia to turn the opponent's weak bones into ashes by using the bone-melting magic palm. Wishful thinking. Don't think that just because you understand the bone-melting magic palm you can kill me. A pink mist suddenly appeared from Red-Face Ghost Killer's body. It was unexpectedly a type of extremely poisonous mist. Like an evil spirit, it extended its claws and bared its fangs and enveloped Xianxia. Ghost Killing School was an expert in the use of poison. Everyone knew that it was normal for there to be such a powerful poison. After Xianxia was enveloped by the pink mist, he saw countless steel spikes flying towards him. If it was anyone else, their body would have countless of holes in an instant, and they were all highly toxic. No one knew about her background. Therefore, she believed that in the battle with her unfathomable strength, she would have the upper hand, especially those powerful poisons, which she had spent a large amount of money to collect. However, she too did not know what kind of person she was facing. It seemed like she knew Golden-Face Ghost Killer very well, but in reality, that was not the case, but rather the sealed Xianxia. If one were to compare using poison, Xianxia could be the ancestor of this Red-Face Ghost Killer. When the steel needles pierced through his body, he had already moved aside, leaving only an illusion behind. What? It's an illusion. Red-Face Ghost Killer immediately saw through it and at the same time fiercely dodged the punch. You? Just who are you? This Red-Face Ghost Killer already knew. The Golden-Face Ghost Killer in front of her was not the person she was familiar with. Dead people don't need to know so much. Xianxia's eyes flashed, releasing a burst of red light. Countless red threads shot out from her eyes, congealing an immense power, and instantly pierced through the Red-Face Ghost Killer's body. Every single thread broke the bones and meridians in her body, and two thicker red rays of light penetrated her dantian and heart. Red-Face Ghost Killer also cultivated a demonic art, so he knew how strong the demon eye of permeability was. It was a type of terrifying energy ray that gathered all the strength in his body, causing it to be able to penetrate deeply into one's body, making it impossible to defend against, as it came out of an unexpected eye. As long as he saw the red light exploding in the other party's eyes, it meant that his own body had been penetrated. Xianxia rarely used his devil arts, but when he used them again and again, it caused his enemies to die in despair and fear. You can leave your mask to me. In the end, Xianxia struck the top of Red-Face Ghost Killer's head with his palm, using the soul-absorbing devil spell to try and plunder his memories. But this Red-Face Ghost Killer actually shattered her soul in that instant, not allowing Xianxia to succeed. She knew that it was the soul-absorbing devil spell, so after using it, her soul would definitely scatter. So she destroyed her own soul, and also did not let Xianxia obtain her memories. Some of your masks are enough. Xianxia took off the mask and took away the communication talismans. Without even looking at the Red-Face Ghost Killer's face, he burned it to ashes. Xianxia changed into a red mask and continued heading towards Sacred Yen City. He would be using his identity as the Red-Face Ghost Killer to head towards Sacred Fire School, and his position would be even higher at that time. Furthermore, he didn't need to fake the identity of the Red-Face Ghost Killer. He could confess that he had obtained the Red-Face Ghost Killer's identity himself. The Sacred Fire School had already gathered all the higher-ups of the various forces. Although none of them had come, they were all people who held authority in their own forces. At the same time, they were people that all the big shots of the various forces trusted them. Everyone was waiting for Ghost Killing School, although Ghost Killing School did not kill all of the people on the list, but to be able to kill more than half of the people made everyone very satisfied. Originally, they did not expect to be able to kill all of the people because the people on the list were not ordinary people. To be able to kill a few in one night, he must have been famous for a long time. Everyone was waiting in the secret room, but the person who suddenly entered scared them. The person who came was actually a man wearing a red mask. Wasn't this the Ghost Killing King, the strongest one in the entire Ghost Killing School, the leader's leader? Although the leader of the Ghost Killing School was not the strongest, his ability to kill scared many big shots of the. Most of the people who were targeted by the red-faced ghost killer would not even be able to survive. The immortal monarch was startled for a moment, because it was his first time meeting this Ghost Killing King. Previously, he had guessed that this Ghost Killing King's strength should be at the peak of the late period of human immortal, so if his assassination skills were superb, killing an early-stage immortal monarch would not be impossible. This Ghost Killing King, why have you come personally? The Fire Divine Palace asked. Can't I come? Hearing this familiar voice, everyone was stunned, because this voice was the mirrored ghost killer that they had met before. This guy actually had a red mask, and everyone immediately knew what was going on. This guy actually exterminated the Ghost Killing King after assassinating the higher-ups of the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country, and obtained this red mask. This kind of strength made everyone secretly admire him, and they were even more vigilant because this kind of guy was too dangerous. I had originally planned to go to Lotus Island on the second day. However, after the incident with Divine Weapons Heavenly Country, it would be difficult for Lotus Island to make a move on me. Xianxia revealed the reason why he was only half done. It's enough, as long as we get a few Divine Weapons Heavenly Countries, the entire Chun Martial continent would be fine. We can just kill one each. The person from the devil race said. Xianxia said coldly. Let me first say this, my Ghost Killing School has already lost a lot of people this time. When we attack, only I will participate. At that time I will secretly cooperate with you. As for your Fire Divine Palace, the strongest amongst us, you guys don't just randomly send some shrimp soldiers or crab generals. Everyone secretly despised the new Ghost Killing King. He killed the old Ghost Killing King with less people. But he was just saying that Fire Divine Palace was the strongest. He should have sent the strongest guy to pave the way for them. The immortal monarch said, Of course, our Fire Divine Palace and our Sacred Fire School will mobilize our strongest forces to ensure that we can smoothly take down the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country. Then, we can defend the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country and finally launch an all-out attack to take down the other sects in the Chun Martial continent. The Divine Weapons Heavenly Country was just a stronghold. As long as they could capture it successfully, the Demon and Devil realms would send a large amount of elites, and the forces of the Human Realm and the Fire Divine Palace Alliance would be the same. As long as the Chun Martial continent was missing a Divine Weapons Heavenly Country to provide them with powerful weapons and treasures, the Chun Martial continent's overall strength would be weakened, and they would be easier to capture. The Divine Weapons Heavenly Country provided a large amount of weapons and treasures, allowing him to set up many powerful formations. His defensive power was extremely strong, so he was also seen as a breakthrough. Following that, everyone began to discuss the route and plan of the attack. They had already announced the number of people they would send and so on. They were all very important things, and they were all memorized by Xianxia in his mind. As long as he confirmed those plans, he would get Long Shui to think of a way to pass these important things to Li Baojun, Xianxia, and Wuxia as soon as possible so that they could prepare for an ambush. The Fire Divine Palace's side also needed to move quickly to prevent the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country from becoming more stable. So they too were in a hurry and did not consider too many details. The Fire Divine Palace and the other powers in the alliance were very confident in this operation. After the meeting, everyone was full of smiles, and the happiest person was Xianxia. This was because he was very confident in his own operation. We will begin our teleportation at night. I have already informed our people to construct the transmission array at a secret location far away from Divine Weapons Heavenly Country. Tonight, we will complete our teleportation. The Immortal Monarch said, When the time comes, it will be led by Leader Yang. Does anyone have any objections? Xianxia was not so worried now. If he were to go with the immortal monarch, it would be very troublesome at that time. Just holding onto the immortal monarch would consume a lot of energy. Everyone left and went to mobilize their own people. They began a busy teleportation to gather in a secret forest. Because the ghost killing school had given a lot of effort and assassinated a few important people, coupled with the fact that the people of the ghost killing school were not suitable to take part in this kind of operation, the ghost killing school did not need to send any disciples. Even the new ghost killing king did not need to go. Xianxia told them that he would go, but that he would conceal himself and make his move. When the time came, they would need to send out the most people. Even the Fire Divine Palace was the same, so the transmission array that was built here was very large. Xianxia used this transmission array to follow the first batch of people to the Chun Martial Continent. After arriving, Xianxia immediately used the communication jade symbol paper to contact Duan Chong. Elder Duan, how are your preparations? Xianxia was already hiding. As a ghost-killing king, no one could direct him. They are all waiting outside the borders of the Divine Weapon Kingdom. We have brought over 20,000 elites as well as powerful formation plates refined by the Iron Lion army. At that time, how many people will come to attack the Divine Weapon's heavenly country? Duan Chong asked. In order to take over the Divine Weapon's heavenly country in one breath, they have increased their power. When the time comes, there will be 1 million of them. So many. If I wasn't prepared and got attacked all of a sudden, I would have definitely been defeated. Duan Chong took a small breath. There are many of them, but they might not be very strong. Xianxia said, I think back to when the various powers in the Chun Martial Continent and the people that the Dragon Subduing School sent out were all elite disciples. It would definitely be very easy to deal with those evil demoness. The disciples of our Dragon Subduing School have all grown up through cruel training. They will definitely be able to display a very strong strength in this battle. Duan Chong said with complete confidence. After that, Xianxia contacted Xianxia. Xianxia, when the time comes, if you and Yulan want to make a move, you must hide well. If I know that you two are still alive, I might not be able to continue staying in this alliance. Xianxia was a little worried for the fiery Leng Yulan. Worried that this violent dragon girl would not be able to hold it in. I know that. Tell me about their detailed attack plan. Xianxia asked. Right now, they are transferring a large number of people to the Chun Martial Continent and are hiding in an ancient forest. When it is about time, they will attack. Xianxia told her the route and told her to pass it on to Wuxia. Duan Chong passed the message to the Super Martial School. They had long secretly discussed about the powers of Lotus Island. There were actually more than 500,000 evil demon, but their overall strength was extremely weak and should be something to throw away their lives for. At the moment, this group of evil demon were extremely noisy. After going through a resolution from the crowd, they had to bring all the evil demon up for the kill first, specifically to drain the opponent's strength. Xianxia hid himself so that when he found out, he would feel that something was wrong. If these 500,000 evil demon were to be at the front line, the hidden elites would definitely be exposed and their plans would be affected. Therefore, Xianxia decided to make a move himself. At the same time, he also told Duan Chong and the others that these evil demon would rush to their deaths, telling them to be cautious and not to reveal too much of their strength. The sky was about to brighten, with hundreds of thousands of evil demoness shouting all kinds of words. They were mighty like a wave as they rushed towards the borders of Divine Weapon's heavenly country. As long as this group of evil demoness passed through, all the flowers, plants, and trees would be nibbled away, becoming wasteland. The people behind the evil demon were silently cursing the group of evil demon who were still unconscious, causing the mountain forest to be completely barren, making it impossible for them to hide behind it at all. This caused the millions of people to not have any form of concealment, and they quickly followed behind the group of evil demon. It's my turn to take action. Xianxia had already become a middle-aged man. Suddenly, he fell from the sky, and the moment his feet touched the ground began to shake violently. Are you guys invading the Divine Weapon's heavenly country? Xianxia said loudly. When the sound wave spread out, it stirred a wave of energy, causing the group of evil demon to retreat while shouting. The power of Fire Divine Palace was not surprised by the sudden appearance of one person. The death of an important person in Divine Weapon's heavenly country would cause them to expect that someone would attack, but they thought that there were no powerful people in Divine Weapon's heavenly country anymore, so they were not afraid. Just when Xianxia sensed that there were a few rankers flying over from behind the group of evil demon, he immediately roared and released a sharp and ear-piercing roar, causing everyone to be able to see the space rippling like a ripple. It was the power of a sound wave actually shaking the space. The huge sound wave's power rushed towards the group of evil demoness. In an instant, it pierced through the hundreds of thousands of evil demoness who were shouting in the sky like a hot knife through butter. This is the sound kill magic power. Everybody be careful. The expression of one of the experts from the demon realm changed drastically as he hastily let out a deafening roar. The sound kill magic power was a divine art of the sacred Dan realm. It was as famous as the heart-piercing demon eye, bone-melting magic palm, and soul-absorbing devil spell. A devil art that could pierce the ears like thunder in the demon realm. No matter if it was used for group attacks or individual attacks, it still possessed a terrifying power. Xianxia roared again and again. The terrifying killing intent set off sets of sound waves that contained endless killing intent, and after the group of evil demon were struck by the sound wave, their bodies started to crack, and then suddenly exploded. Several 100,000 evil demoness, in this short period of time, had already exploded into a cloud of blood mist, causing the place to become a place of death which was filled with dense and terrifying blood mist. However, Xianxia's sound wave did not weaken in the slightest, as he crazily roared. The people from the Fire Divine Palace were furious, especially the big shots of the demon realm. They did not expect such a guy to suddenly appear. With just a few roars, his evil demon army was annihilated, leaving not even his corpse behind. Xianxia had only roared for a short period of time before that group of evil demoness all turned into blood mist. Those people who knew how to circulate their energy and protect their bodies, coupled with the fact that Xianxia's sound kill magic power was used against a large area of enemies, did not let the Alliance's army die. As the commander of this attack, Yang Jutao suddenly felt a lot of pressure, because the progress was not as smooth as they had imagined. In order for the army to continue, he had sent a few powerful elders of the Sacred Fire School to deal with Xianxia. Suddenly, a few clan elders from the Sacred Fire School surrounded them. Their strengths were not weak. Xianxia had seen them at the Sacred Fire School before, but he never thought that these old fellows would have such strong powers, and that the things in their hands were all powerful people, and that these swords were all immortal swords. At this time, Xianxia could not use the Green Dragon Demon-Slain Broadsword and the Hammer of God, because the Ice Emperor was exterminated by the person holding the Black Hammer. If he used it now, and the Fire Divine Palace knew, the Hall Master would definitely come over immediately. An eagle's cry came from far away, and a Qilin with eagle wings flew over. It turned out to be a Kylin Thunder Eagle. The ones in the lead were all familiar with Xianxia. Yun Xiaodao, Zhu Rong, XV Weilong, and the others, as they were all very strong at the moment, and the elite auras they led were also very valiant, rushing straight into the million-strong army. Duan Chong and Li Baojun had also appeared. They were mainly forcing those old fellows with strong powers to appear, so that the youngsters wouldn't have to face those old bastards. The sudden appearance of these 20 to 30,000 men was a brutal attack. Killing was like cutting grass in this army of 1 million men. A large number of them fell in an instant. "This is the Dragon Subduing School's man," an old man exclaimed. "Why are they here? Didn't they say that Dragon Subduing School is already on the verge of death? How are they still so powerful? You bastards, we have been guarding here for several years just to wait for you stupid pigs." Li Baojun sneered, holding his Kylin fan. He started to fight with the few elders. Dragon Subduing School led the way, and after they participated in the battle, the people of Super Martial School, Lotus Island, and Dan Fragrance Pure Land also rushed in. The army of Divine Weapons Heavenly Country suddenly appeared behind the million-strong army, took out their fine weapons, and rushed towards the invaders. The reason the Alliance of the Fire Divine Palace acted so quickly was to prevent such a thing from happening. With the high-ranking members of the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country being assassinated, as long as anyone with a brain could guess that it was them, they would definitely prevent them from invading anymore. But now that they saw a large group of people here, they knew that after the incident with the divine weapon's heavenly country, the powers of the Chun martial continent had all gathered here, waiting for them to come. Although they had expected this to happen, they hadn't expected it to happen so quickly. Just who are you? You know the sound kill magic power? I didn't think that the Chun martial continent would collude with the demon world. An old man shouted to Xianxia. It was clear that he wanted the sound kill magic power. Xianxia, who was surrounded by the few elderly men, said angrily, "What's wrong with that? Didn't you guys collude with the demon world? What's more, the people in the demon world are not always unforgivable, and not everyone in the human realm is good either. For example, you old bastards. Demon realm caused such a big death or injury to the human realm. Just sit here and watch and do nothing. Instead you guys are attacking divine weapons heavenly country." Xianxia was not afraid of all these old fellows. His words had angered all the old men, causing them to not care about morality. They all joined hands to attack Xianxia, all of them releasing extremely powerful attacks, fists, kicks, blades, all at the same time. The dense innate chi spewed out brilliant rays of light that shot towards Xianxia. Hearing the series of thunderclaps, many of the experts were shocked. This was because it was the power of the 9th floor of the devil subduing method. Although the simple learning version of the devil subduing method allowed many people to learn the devil subduing method, it was still very difficult to learn the 9th floor. There weren't many people who could learn the 9 levels, and one of the people that people were most familiar with was Devil Subduing College's principal, Xianxia. Of course Xianxia would come. He also didn't know whether Xianxia and Lang Yulan were faking their deaths. So when he heard the news, he was extremely furious. Adding to that, he had already known that the Fire Divine Palace would fight with the Chun martial continent sooner or later. Xianxia, your Devil Subduing College has always been neutral. An old man said angrily. Out of the few elders that surrounded Xianxia, only 2 remained. The rest were all killed by Xianxia. Our Devil Subduing College has always relied on killing demons and devils as the foundation. If you join hands with the devils, we will treat you as demons and treat you as nothing more than demons. The students you sent to the Devil Subduing College to learn the art of defeating devils are all very clear on this point. When you colluded with the demons to deal with the humans, you should have this kind of awareness. Xianxia's old face was extremely gloomy, bringing with him endless slavery. A fist had already been thrown out. The berserk devil subduing method smashed the 2 old men into pieces. Elder Zhua, I am Xianxia. Xianxia sent a sound transmission to Xianxia. He knew the position of the Devil Subduing College, which was why he did not go and find Xianxia. You? Xianxia nodded, and he seemed to have suddenly understood something. Your wife and recognized sister. Xianxia laughed, then looked down at the chaos below. Xianxia and Lang Yulan had already disguised themselves and snuck in, specifically killing the stronger disciples. Everything is fine, Xianxia replied. That's good. Young people, do you look down on old bones like me? You don't call me for this sort of thing. Xianxia reprimanded. That's because of the position of the Devil Subduing College. Xianxia did not want the Devil Subduing College to be viewed with hostility by the Fire Divine Palace because of this matter. He was well aware of the Fire Divine Palace's strength, and Xianxia was only strong here. Don't worry, I've already said it before, these fellows colluding with demons to deal with humans is the enemy of my Devil Subduing College. Since they are here, I will do my best to help you guys. When Xianxia saw that Li Baojun was being attacked by more than 10 Devil Realms demon immortals, he immediately rushed forward and used his powerful demon fighter to join the battle. It's all because of you, you bastard. If not for your words, we would have already snuck into the divine weapon's heavenly country. A golden light flashed and arrived. Xianxia anxiously avoided the cold killing intent of the golden blade, and the person who attacked him was Sacred Fire School's Yang Jiutao. This Yang Jiutao had the strength of late period of human immortal, so his furious attack was rather powerful. The impact caused the air to vibrate, and after slashing through the air, the force struck the ground, creating a huge crack. You will never succeed. Xianxia immediately welcomed the incoming fist with his own, striking towards the golden blade that was filled with berserk power. Seeing that the other party had used his fist to receive the blade and was even striking towards the edge of the blade, Yang Jiutao was shocked. He thought that he would slash at Xianxia's fist, but who knew that his golden blade would actually strike at Xianxia's fist, as though it had hit a hard object.